Flipper Zero, hottest hacking device? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the Flipper Zero, a seriously powerful and controversial device. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only. I own all the equipment I'll be demonstrating, and this is not a sponsored video. The biggest challenge with the Flipper Zero right now? Getting your hands on one. But let's explore its capabilities and understand the vulnerabilities it highlights in everyday tech. I'll show you how to clone RFID cards, open doors, access buildings, and more with a simple tap. Control infrared devices, manipulate lights, TVs, air conditioners, and even some security systems. Hijack Bluetooth devices, control mice and keyboards wirelessly. Exploit USB ports, run scripts that can potentially compromise a computer. Control the Flipper Zero remotely. Manage it from your phone or computer. Important note: always use these techniques responsibly and ethically. Only test on devices you own or have explicit permission to test on. I'll be demonstrating some basic examples, but remember, the Flipper Zero's potential is vast. Let's get started! I've got a lock that you would put in a drawer as an example, and you can see there that this tag opens this lock. Let's take a different card. This card doesn't work. But if I take the card that did work, and I go to 125 kilohertz RFID, and I read that card, so I'll go right and save this, and I'll just call this door okay. So door's been saved, and I can immediately emulate that card, and there you go, that opened. Now you may not want to do it that way, so what you can do is, you can just do a write. So again, this tag doesn't work, and I should say tag rather than call because he has a card, but I'll write it using the Flipper Zero. Okay, so sometimes I've had problems getting it to write. Often you have to reboot it, but I have got the save previously, so I'll write it again using that there you go, so that's been successfully written, and now notice it works. Another thing that the Flipper Zero supports is infrared. You can download a whole bunch of pre-configured infrared settings. I've got some saved that I've manually saved. One of them is the light shelf behind me. Hopefully you can see that the shelf is changing in color. I'll use green to set this up. In this example, I'm not using a saved one, I'm going to learn a new one. So learn new remote, and here's the remote that actually changes those colors. You can see it's actually got 5 samples at the moment, but actually what I want to do is I want to get a different color. Let's take yellow as an example. So I'll press the yellow button and it's founded, so I'll just say RAW 7, so that's a new remote. Hopefully what will happen now is you can see that the color is changing to yellow, and actually the one on my desk, if I put it under my desk, if I go back and go to Save Remotes, and let's go Shelf Lights, and I'll set it to blue, and hopefully you can see that that's all gone blue again. This can work with all kinds of devices. It can work with televisions, all kinds of things. Lots of examples on YouTube. What I've done here actually is save a remote, which is to turn my air conditioner on. So what I'll do is take this camera, and what I'll do here, and if you can see that, but I'm going to simply press the button, and the air conditioner went on, and now the air condition is off. All you need to do is take a remote like this, learn new remote, and it picks it up. What I can do is send that to the air conditioner to turn it on. So air conditioner send, and there you go, it went on. Notice the mouse on this laptop. I'll put both hands here so you can see I'm not touching the laptop at all. Both my hands are on the Flipper Zero, but what I can do is control the mouse using the Flipper Zero. So as an example, I'll move it here and then I'll press Enter to open the software. So just to show you the menus, if I press the middle button here, that gives me the different options. So I've shown you NFC already. This allows you to run rubber ducky scripts. If I go to bad USB, it says disconnect PC or phone to use this function. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to close the Flipper Zero software and I'll press bad USB. In my example, I'm going to do the demo for Windows. Now that's just a basic example, but you can download many rubber ducky scripts and use them to do all kinds of things. So for instance, open up a reverse shell or something else. Lots of options available with the bad USB. They've got a demo for macOS and Windows. Another great thing about the Flipper Zero is you can control it from your phone. So you can install an app on your Android phone or iOS device as an example, and it will sync information from the Flipper Zero to your phone. You can see there it's synchronizing. It's now synced. If I go to Archive, I can see a whole bunch of information including NFC. I can see infrared as an example, the different infrared options that I saved. RFID 125, I can see as an example, there's door, and then I can get it to emulate. I can do something similar with the NFCs. So as an example, let's go back to my safe. I'll lock it with the Barclay card. I'll select Barclay card and then press emulate on the phone, and notice I've got it to open the safe by commanding the Flipper Zero to do something from the phone. Just to make the point again, I'll lock the safe. I'm not going to do anything on the Flipper Zero except put it on its home screen. So it's on the home screen, and then on the Barclay card, I'm going to tell it to emulate that card, and then if I hold it there, notice the safe opens up. From a demonstration point of view, you can also control it from your computer. So as an example, I can tell it to get out of NSC. I can press the middle button, and then I can use keystrokes on the computer to control the Flipper Zero. So go back as an example. I'll go to NFC, go to Saved. I'll specify the Barclay card, tell it to emulate. Notice the safe is locked now, and then I'll use this Barclay card to actually open the safe. Let's do that again. The safe is open. Notice my stuff in the safe, and then I'll press the Flipper Zero against the safe to get it locked, because it's emulating the card, and then if someone came back to the hotel room and did that, they wouldn't realize that I had opened the safe. I'll demonstrate this probably in a different video, but notice she has a YubiKey used for two-factor authentication. I can use NFC to read the YubiKey, and then I could save that, and then emulate that if needed. So as an example, when using NFC on your phone to get authorization from a YubiKey, I could perhaps get around your authentication, but we'll leave that for another day. Okay, so what do you think? Great product. I've only shown you a few examples of what's possible with this device. There are lots of videos on YouTube showing you stuff that I don't want to show you. You need to be careful as always with a device like this. In this case, I was using all my own devices, so I've obviously given myself permission to attack my own devices as a demonstration. The Flipper Zero is a fascinating device that reveals the security challenges we face in our increasingly connected world. Remember, use this knowledge responsibly and ethically. Like the video if you found it helpful and subscribe for more tech explorations.